how long has your band been going?
So, yeah, sure, I can talk about my band history for a bit. So this band, in the form that it is now, has been going for about 2 and a bit years. So the lead singer and I met a little over 3 years ago, and she was in a band at the time, and I joined that band, and then the band proceeded to have a lot of drama happen and fall apart.
Happens,
as bands do. She was dating the lead guitarist, and then they broke up, and then, the bass player and the drummer were the guitarist's friends, and the band exploded.
That's tough deal. Tough deal.
Don't date your bandmates is pro tip. So yeah, it kind of fell apart, and I didn't hear from her for a bit, and then a few weeks later, I got a phone call.
Was this band Fleetwood Mac?
It was not Fleetwood Mac, surprisingly. Yeah. I got a call from her going, hey, do you still think maybe you'd want to do music things with me? It was very cute. So we started a new band, called it Lonely Funeral. We found her and I did some lounge singer kind of style stuff for a little while. Because it was just, piano and vocals. That's all we had. So we took some of the existing songs and chilled them right out, and did some shows like that while we were looking for other members and kind of organizing our lives again. And then we found a guitarist. It'll be almost 2 years ago now. And then we found a drummer. We performed a bunch of shows like that. So we are a 4-piece. We have just lead vocals, lead guitar, drums, and then I basically do everything else on synths. So I do kind of all the background synth noises. I do the bass lines, and I do kind of lead piano lines, all on a couple of keyboards. So we did a bunch of shows last year, and then we started recording. We recorded 4 songs in the spring this year.
Nice.
So yeah, kind of getting an EP together. The process of recording those and finalizing kind of what we wanted the finished product to sound like revealed that the drummer and the rest of us kind of wanted to go in different directions creatively. Which is, it happens. He wanted to do kind of the more organic, grungy kind of, dive bar, everything is just off the cuff. It's very, very, very improvised and authentic kind of sound. And we were we wanted to have a more produced sound. We wanted to move towards having, backing tracks and all that sort of stuff. So we ended up, the drummer left kind of after the recordings were done. The drummer and the bassist were not dating, thankfully. So we have therapy forever. Yeah, honestly, does kind of go that way. So then for a while we had all the recordings, and we started working on music videos. So just the 3 of us were working on music videos basically all summer. So we shot all the production for 2 music videos, and we kind of have props and costumes and the concepts and people lined up to shoot it for the remaining 2. For the other 2 songs that we recorded. So hopefully those will get shot maybe later this year, maybe next year.
Neat.
And we found a new drummer only last month. He's a really great fit so far, so hopefully he works out. And we are working on getting show ready again. It's unfortunate the way the timing worked. We weren't able to do a show for Halloween because that's always, being a goth band. And we're really theatrical. We always dress way up. I hate bands that are just jeans and t-shirts on stage. Drives me nuts.
It's especially if you are doing a sort of particularly sort of theatrical kind of music.
Exactly, right? So we aim to put on a real stage show as much as we can with the budget that we have, which is none. So we are looking to do shows again in the new year.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's sounds like. Is all original songs?
It's all original songs, yeah. When we were doing lounge singer stuff, we did a couple of covers. We did a chilled out jazz version of Sweet Dreams, which was kind of fun. And we've kept some of the songs from the previous band as well, because I mean, the lead singer Charlie, she wrote all of them basically, so we kept some of those songs around, but we're working on new ones now. Yes, we've got about 4 or 5 original new ones that we've written since then.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. She's great to work with. We work together very well because she has an endless fountain of ideas for songs, basically, but has no technical background in music whatsoever. So she'll just go, hey, like I've got this idea for a song, and sing me a melody. And she has some words ready for it. And then I'll kind of take that and go, okay, well, you're singing in this key, and we can put kind of these chords behind it and kind of flesh out the structure to it. And then,
Neat.
you know, add guitar parts and add drum parts, and that's the songs. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I think about, talking about like the, don't date within a band or whatever. But I always think about like, say like the Rolling Stones or something, right? Like
Right.
those guys have been like together with each other for way longer than any of them have had other relationships.
Yep.
And most people have had marriages. Like it must be a weird thing to be like that like so integrated into each other's lives in a professional way.
I mean, you could probably speak to that somewhat.
I guess in some ways, yeah. But we're not, it's a little different when I feel like it's a little different when you're like touring around together and like,
That's fair.
But
Yeah, I don't know that I would want to be stuck on a tour bus with my band for very long periods of time. I might go insane. But I mean, they're all very creative types, and they're great, But
does Vancouver have a big sort of goth and a scene for you to play in? Like,
there is a scene. I wouldn't call it big, but we've got a few dedicated fans for sure. One of the best shows we played was actually out in Chilliwack, which is, for those who aren't there, it's a couple hours away from downtown Vancouver, and we played an all ages show there in a church, which was fun for a goth band. We thought, all the jokes about we didn't catch fire this time and that sort of thing. And that was great because turns out high school kids love the goth band.
nice.
Yeah, it was great.
I should do this thing.
That was a good show, but it was a bummer they had you awkwardly in the church basement on like the little stage the youth pastor plays guitar on instead of in the actual building.
Yeah, it was a weird show. Honestly, our sound at that show was pretty awful. Just the speaker setup in the venue was not great, and the nature of our band with so much of the stuff coming through synths and keys is we really rely on the house speakers to give us that kind of power. Although we don't have a dedicated like big bass stack with a bass guitar playing through it. So if they just have little tiny speakers, then we don't sound that good, unfortunately. But the kids loved it.
I imagine being in like a major market though that touring is a little less hectic because it's like you say, it's 2 hours to drive out to Chilliwack, and there's a lot of like other communities in between that you can hit up. Obviously, it isn't just like Bear Road until all the way out there.
Totally.
But it is. You wouldn't tour that, right? You'd be like, we drive out, we do our show, we come back at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Exactly.
Kind of deal.
Yeah.
We drive out to like Langley, or we drive out to like Abbotsford, or like any of the other places. Because if you were gonna like tour hard and be like, we're gonna drive into the interior and go to like Kelowna or something, or go to Kamloops,
then you want to line up a few shows at once.
Yeah, and touring is where that's gonna be that's going to be a lot to do. I was watching Tragically Hip's documentary where they were talking about how being in Kingston, Ontario, yes, how it's like you get really into just playing the areas that are around you. Thank you. You just get really into like we can only play the areas that are around us because it's only about a 4 or 5 hour trip you can make up and down.
Right.
You can't tour the rest of Canada, because you would just go nuts trying to drive all the way across Ontario to get to Winnipeg.
And it makes it really hard to break even.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not selling out big venues, then as soon as you're adding in substantial travel and hotels and anything, I mean, we're not a big band. We are lucky to break even on a local show, but once you start setting up a tour, you really have to start crunching numbers, and a lot of the time it is not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we're working on getting content online right now.
Yes.
Because then we actually have stuff to promote, and then even if we don't necessarily make money on the tours, at least we can get our name out there and give people something to interact with online.
And I understand that like now the thing is, at least for stand-up comedy anyway, that if you're putting clips of yourself online, or you're putting like a routine or whatever, people will come and watch that stuff if they see enough of it over and over, eventually be like, I should go watch this guy's show, and then they show up to the show.
Yeah.
And so if you can be drawing people into when you're performing somewhere, that's even better.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't have to go to you. You'll want to come to watch me.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one video to get really popular, right? And suddenly people are actually looking you up, and your name shows up in Google searches and that sort of thing, and then it snowballs from there. That's the dream, but it's mostly just fun for me at the moment.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least it's still fun.
Oh yeah.